I began working at PBS back in 1971 for my new job. I got to watch episodes of shows like Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, Evers. For the most part, I had a super fun, awesome time until I quit my job in 1985. But quitting wasn't the worst part. The worst part was in 1974. Me and 5 other interns, their names were Henry, Joey, Sean, Allison, and Sammy, were ready to watch a new episode of Sesame Street. We all expected it to be the first episode of season 6, but what we saw was very different from what was later aired. And I mean, very. Man, just how I could forget about this entire experience. The intro was overall normal, like as you'd see in the actual episodes, but the episode started to get abnormal as soon as it got to the first shot. It started off with Big Bird walking down Sesame Street to visit Oscar for some reason. However, Oscar looked angry as something aggravated him. Big Bird looked depressed as Oscar was yelling at him. Even though he didn't do anything to frustrate him, I was confused by the scene. I could tell the other interns were thinking the same way I was. And then it cut to Elmo, or at least like a prototype of him sitting on a sofa. The odd thing was that Elmo technically didn't exist back in 1974. And he wasn't a puppet. He was a live costume, similar to Big Bird, with a performer inside him. Then he said something that shocked us. His voice was the same voice used before Karen Clash voiced him. He said, "Listen up, brother. I must about to fix Sesame Street up to make everyone understands, and no matter how down and ready you are, never be the only face is enough. You must burn hell." In the next shot, we saw Cookie Monster, except he was all red. Then he yelled, "Listen up, everyone. I'm about to kill me creator Jim Henson." Jim Henson walked in and said, "Excuse me, Cookie Monster, but why are you all red?" Immediately after Jim spoke, Cookie Monster then grabbed an AK-47 out of nowhere and started shooting rapidly at Jim Henson. After killing Jim, he started eating him. He pulled out his brains, guts, heart, flesh, and eyeballs, and all the other internal organs, and ate all of them. It was revolting. Before we move on to the next scene, here's the birth date and death date of Jim Henson. R.I.P. Jim Henson, born September 24th, 1936, died May 16th, 1990. Now let's get back to the episode. Then we saw Grover in an airplane. He had an empty beer bottle and then an iPhone, which didn't make sense because iPhones didn't even exist back then. Grover got all drunk all of a sudden and ran to the emergency exit. He opened the door and jumped out. He fell to the ground and died. I actually got sad at this point, but the other interns didn't. When the next scene came, it scared us horribly. It showed Big Bird being thrown off a cliff into the ocean by an anonymous mass perpetrator with anvil on his leg. He struggled to free himself from the anvil underwater for around a minute and drowned. The next scene showed Ernie sitting on a chair. A noose was visible up above him. Ernie was writing in a diary. It said, "Dear diary, my life sucks. It always had, and had not improved one bit. Life sucks so badly that I have no choice but to end it all. If my suicide affects anyone negatively, I apologize in advance. Lastly, I had to thank all my family and friends for the support they have given me throughout my time here on Sesame Street. Goodbye, Ernie." Then he hanged himself on the noose. Bert then appeared. When he found the body of Ernie, he gave a lifeless expression. However, what he did next was just yet horrifying. He took down Ernie's corpse and ate his brain. I don't know why he did this. I just don't. The credits were in Japanese. A distorted version of the music normally heard in season 6 credits played. Then the episode finally ended. Aftermath. The other interns were shocked. Some were pissed off. I was just speechless. 2 of the interns claimed to have seen an image that flashed on screen for a frame or two at the end of the credits. Though neither of them could make out what it was, we agreed to rewind the footage to see if this was true. And sure enough, it was. The image was a photo showing Elmo standing in front of the same living room direct drop scene in the episode. He was holding a large cardboard sign that said, in big black letters, Elmo is going to get all you, written in black marker. What happened next was scary. We saw Elmo, as seen in the episode, burst through the room. The person inside the suit was insane and had a handgun in one of his hands. He came for us while shouting, "Here comes the king of the light year, bed. Here comes the chopper to chop on your head." Well, he shot his gun over the place. Me and the other 5 other interns thankfully got away unharmed. The guy in costume was actually a psychopath who kidnapped the creators to recreate the awful episode. Me and the other interns found out about that on the Huffington Post. The aforementioned psychopath later got a life sentence in prison for a murder charge that had nothing to do with the episode. Everyone, including us, was relieved. Anyway, the reason I quit was because in late 1985, by then, Emma appeared in modern form. I was just resting on the couch watching TV when suddenly I heard a voice that sounded like Kevin Clash's Elmo voice. It whispered, "Sesame Street is now over. Try to look at Sesame Street for Elmo." I looked back, and what I saw was horrifying. What I saw was an Elmo plushie with blood on it. It had a knife in its hand and a gun in the other, and had a creepy grin, and its eyes were nothing more than empty black holes. And I viewed it onto the TV. The screen said, Japanese text. After a few hours trying to figure out what the text translated to, I realized what it meant. You are the next victim, and we'll hunt you down. Prize the devil. Soon, I will be next.